ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ओम श्री महागणपतये नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्धधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतः सुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्ख्यपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थितदद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। ओम। Namaste once again, everyone.
Namaste, Guruji. Pranam.
So we are now entering the 6th chapter. So after completing the summary of the 5th chapter in the last class, I introduced the 6th chapter, which is titled sorry for that. Somebody is calling me to disconnect. So the 6th chapter title is Atma Sanyama Yoga, or simply put, Dhyana Yoga. And Dhyana means, we all know, it is meditation. And we should remember that since Bhagavad Gita is based on the Upanishads and it is considered as a moksha sastra, the meditation talked about is Vedantic meditation. And therefore, the purpose is for us to understand what the role of meditation in spiritual sadhana is. So we should also remember that the role of meditation that we are talking about is purely from the standpoint of a seeker of liberation, a mumukshu. And in that context, before knowing what the role or purpose of meditation is, we saw what meditation is not meant for. Because there are so many ideas and misconceptions regarding the role of meditation. Meditation is one sadhana which serves different purposes for different goals rather. So from the point of view of spiritual journey, with moksha as the ultimate goal, the first point we noted was that meditation is not a means for liberation. Meditation is not a means for liberation or moksha. Because the Upanishads clearly say that knowledge alone is the means of liberation. And therefore, the first point to be noted is meditation is not prescribed as a means of liberation. Now, there could be a question that if the only means for liberation is knowledge, then whether meditation is prescribed for gaining that knowledge, that could be a possibility. It's possible that, okay, you will not get moksha through meditation. You may get moksha only through knowledge, but meditation could be prescribed for gaining the knowledge. There also we saw meditation is not prescribed for knowledge because meditation is not considered as a means of knowledge also. It is not one of the Shat Pramanani, the 6 means of knowledge recognized by Shastra. Therefore, meditation is not prescribed for moksha. Meditation is not prescribed for the knowledge which will lead to moksha. Either the knowledge could be material or spiritual. Meditation is not prescribed for knowledge also. You can't gain any knowledge by doing meditation. That the third thing that we noted was that for a Vedantic seeker or a spiritual seeker, meditation is not prescribed even for any extraordinary experience or a mystic experience. Because all ordinary, extraordinary, mystic experiences, all of them deal with only the finite realm. They all belong to the objective world alone. Since Vedanta deals with only the experiencer, the subject can never become an object of any type of experience. Objective experience cannot come under self-knowledge. They cannot come under spiritual knowledge. Any objective experience has to come under material knowledge only, objective knowledge only, which is incapable of giving liberation. Therefore, the third point that we noted was that for a spiritual seeker, meditation is not prescribed for mystic experiences also. Now, the question is, if meditation is not meant for any of these, then for what purpose is meditation prescribed in the Shastra? And for what purpose does Bhagavan Krishna devote one whole chapter in Bhagavad Gita for meditation? Because the 6th chapter, in one way, is a culmination of the first round of teaching of Bhagavad Gita. Because Jnana Yoga will not be complete unless we go through learning what Nididhyasanam is all about. As we saw in the last class also, while I introduced about the thoughts about Nididhyasanam, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam is a complete package for Jnana Yoga, for which the goal is moksha. So without going through Nididhyasanam, we cannot attain moksha, even though we may have knowledge. Knowledge you will get through Shravanam, doubtless knowledge you will get through Mananam. But there is a third element which will act as an obstacle for gaining moksha, and that we address through meditation or Nididhyasanam. And that is why, recognizing the importance of Nididhyasanam, Bhagavan Krishna devotes one whole chapter for that. So now question is, what is the role of meditation? And we saw that meditation has got 2 roles. The first role of meditation is preparation of the mind for spiritual knowledge. And preparation of the mind involves again two aspects, Chitta Shuddhi and Chitta Naischalya. Chitta Shuddhi can be gained through Karma Yoga, and meditation is one of the sadhanas prescribed for Chitta Naischalya. Chitta Naischalya means the focusing of the mind and the preventing the wavering of the mind. All these are all preparatory stages. We call that preparatory meditation. Of course, we also noted that it is not meditation alone which prepares the mind. There are several exercises which prepare the mind. And among several exercises, meditation is also one of the important exercises which will tune the mind. And this preparatory meditation in Sanskrit is called upasanam or upasana dhyanam, which means meditation practiced as a preparation for knowledge. Therefore, after Karma Yoga, after this preparatory meditation, we have to gain spiritual knowledge, for which we have to go after the means of knowledge, seek an appropriate pramanam, which can impart the type of knowledge that we want. And we discussed in the last class, our eyes are one of the pratyaksha pramanani, which gives us knowledge of the color and shape of objects, which we perceive with our eyes. But when we want to see our own eyes, we have a peculiar problem that the eyes can see everything, but they cannot see themselves. The eyes cannot see my face. If I want to see my eyes, if I want to see my face, I have to use a mirror. With the help of mirror alone, I can see the eyes or my face. Similarly, when I have to see myself, when the knower, the Sakshi, has to be known, when the experiencer has to be known, when I want self-knowledge, I have to use an appropriate mirror. And that mirror is the scriptural pramanam, the Shastra pramanam. Shabda pramanam, it's also called Upadesha pramanam. All these are all synonyms. Shabda pramanam, Shastra pramanam, Upadesha pramanam, etc. So the scriptural teachings will serve as a mirror. And most importantly, not only mirror is required, the mirror should be appropriately used also. Only then the Shastra Pramanam will give me knowledge. And if one does not gain knowledge by study of scriptures, there is no way of gaining knowledge through any other method. Like if by using a mirror, I cannot see my face, what should I do? Suppose, oh, okay, it is useless, I throw away the mirror. Or for that matter, any reflecting object. I mean, somebody will say, oh, you can see your face in water. All these arguments will be there. So mirror is just one of the examples in the sense that any reflecting medium I use, but I am not able to see my face. Can I do something else, like doing a Shirasasanam for 1 hour every day? Will that help me see my face? Shirasasanam, if you do, you may be able to see the rest of your body, but not your face and your eyes. Therefore, if by using the mirror, I do not see my face, I have no other alternative except using the mirror again properly. Perhaps there is some dust in the mirror. Wipe it, clean it, use it again. Or the light outside may not be sufficient for me to see my face in the mirror. If I use spectacles, maybe I might not have worn the proper spectacles. Whatever it is, we have to correct that. And because there is only one method of seeing your face, and that is by using the mirror. Similarly, scriptural study is the only means of self-knowledge. Upanishad clearly says, Vedanta Vijnana Sunishchitartha Sannyasa Yogat Yataya Shuddha Sattva. Only from scriptures we will get all the knowledge which we require for moksha. From physics you will not get, chemistry you will not get, mathematics you will not get. Only Vedanta scriptures. Vedanta Vijnanam, he says. The special knowledge contained in the Vedanta scriptures only can deliver the knowledge which will take us to moksha. Now, when you see in the mirror, you can see your eyes and face. Suppose you got a doubt whether you can really see your eyes in the mirror, or what you are seeing is really your face and your eyes, then the only way to do away with the doubt is pick up the mirror again, use the mirror, see for yourself, and find out whether you can see your eyes. Like, for example, you see the image, you can blink your eyes and see whether the eyes in the mirror image is also blinking. You can take your hand and touch the eyes so that you can ensure that you can see whether the hand goes up in the mirror also. So if you have a doubt whether it is your eyes or not, you will have to use another method in order to satisfy yourself, convince yourself that it is your eyes that you are seeing in a mirror, or your face you are seeing in a mirror. Similarly, you must use the Vedanta Shravanam and see for yourself whether self-knowledge arises or not. Of course, you will see if you have done the Shravanam properly for a length of time, under the guidance of a proper Acharya or Guru, you have done it consistently, then you will see that the knowledge does arise. So Shravanam produces knowledge, and when as even I listen to the scriptures, certainly I will receive the knowledge also, but parallelly doubts also arise in the mind. Therefore, Shravanam not only produces knowledge, but parallelly it produces doubts also. There is the biggest doubt. This Vedanta scripture, this Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita talk about so many things. Could all that is said be true? Is there something called pure consciousness, which I have never experienced, which I have never seen? In fact, I have never even heard about it before I came to the Vedanta class. I am what, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years old. Nobody had even talked to me in any conversation that there is something called pure consciousness. First time I am hearing about it is when I come to the Vedanta class. And more importantly, it is said that that pure consciousness is my real nature. All along, I thought was my real nature was that I am, fat, or I am lean, or I am tall, I am short, I am fair. That is my, if what is your nature, then you will, I would have described all that. But now suddenly Vedanta is saying that no, that is not all your real nature. Your real nature is pure consciousness. Would that be true? Because it is Vedas who are telling the scriptures given by Bhagwan himself. So many doubts will arise because Vedantic teaching is so different from what we know, what we have learned. Initially, it appears to be unbelievable. And the beauty is, Vedanta says, whatever you are seeking in your life, you already are that. You are seeking happiness. Vedanta says you are of the nature of happiness. You are seeking fullness. Vedanta says you are of the nature of fullness. You are seeking peace. Vedanta says you are peace embodied. You are the embodiment of peace. You are seeking security. Vedanta says you are security yourself. You are seeking the truth. That is the greatest thing. Everybody, if you ask, they will say, no, I seek truth. Vedanta says you are the only truth. That is it. The seer is the truth. The seen, the experienced is the untruth. Vedanta says. These are mind-boggling statements which completely challenge us. All our learning, all our understanding about us and the world. That is the teaching. And therefore, naturally, umpteen questions arise in the mind. How can I be secure? How can I be the truth? When I am depending on so many external agencies for my security, like that, innumerable questions will come. And the instruction in the teaching is, must note this very carefully. Instruction in the teaching is, do not ask the question immediately. Comprehensively listen to the teaching and receive all the important features of the teaching. And until you complete that, keep your doubts aside. Take a notebook. You can write down, Acharya ji made this statement, I do not accept. Of course, if you feel that you are being disrespectful, you can add, with due respects, I do not accept Acharya ji's statement. But respecting a guru does not mean that you should accept whatever the guru says, or you should blindly swallow what all is said. That is not our culture, our religion. You can respectfully disagree with the teacher. In fact, in our parampara, the teacher will encourage the disagreement because teacher will be happy. That means the student has been listening carefully and therefore he has doubts and disagreements. When students don't ask any question at all, the Acharya has got no way to know whether the no question situation is because he has understood everything or he has not understood anything. He has not even been listening, he or she. So when students ask questions, the teacher is very happy. And he will try his best to the best of his ability to answer the questions, to address all the doubts. Because, we have seen listening is one of the most difficult tasks in the world. Very difficult task. Everybody will say, you first listen and all. But the moment you start speaking, somebody will interfere. He will interrupt. Interrupt your thoughts, your talk. Then the whole topic will go somewhere else. That is why in our classes, in Vedanta classes, we follow a very strict rule. No student should ask any question when the teacher is speaking. Only the class is over, then you have a question answer session, a satsang like session where you can raise all questions and get clarification. Because the teacher also has to focus on what he wants to convey. In a particular class, he has got an agenda. Okay, this much of the topic or this much of the syllabus I will complete. But if there are questions coming and cross questions and counter questions, etc., the whole class will get disturbed. The doubt may be in one student's mind for which all the other students will be paying the price. And that is why, students are advised to first listen comprehensively, carefully, fully. We can get the knowledge only through listening. But that knowledge, understandably, is weakened by parallel doubts. There is one fundamental doubt which many people have. Why should I accept the scriptures? Basic doubt. Why should I accept the scriptures? This doubt will not come when they are looking at some item that some telescope has discovered some, black hole somewhere. They will say, oh, there's a black hole there. They will accept it. But our own scripture, they will not accept. They will have a basic doubt. And from that onwards, you can imagine all possible questions under the sun. They will have doubts. And the scriptures accept. Yes, you must have doubt. Whereas scriptures know that what they are telling you is not the run of the mill, as they say, no, ordinary things, extraordinary things, extraordinary knowledge. What the scriptures deliver to you is samshaya sahita jnanam, knowledge, but mixed with doubt. And a doubtful knowledge is not knowledge at all. For all practical purposes, doubtful knowledge is ignorance only. Swami Paramatmanandaji gives a good example. Suppose there is a wire hanging, the power cable, right? And you want to touch that wire. There is a person near that. So you ask that person, is there current flowing in the wire? Is this a live wire? If that person says, no, it is not a live wire, then you can touch it, no problem. But suppose he says, 99% I am sure that it is not a live wire, but 1% there is a possibility that it is a live wire. Suppose he says that. Will you then go ahead and touch that wire? Swami Chinmayananda says, you do. If you do, you may get instant moksha. He uses a beautiful phrase, spiriticution. There will be spiriticution like electrocution. No? So even if 1% doubt is there, 99% knowledge possibility is useless. So you should not even have 1% or even why 1%? 0.00001% doubt also should not be there. If it is there, it is not knowledge. So, as you progress the spiritual sadhana after Shravanam, the second stage of the spiritual sadhana is the removal of doubt. In the first stage, I am gathering the knowledge. Whatever doubts come, I keep it aside for the time being, put it down, so that I myself don't forget that such doubts had come. Many times it will happen that as I keep on listening, many of those doubts will automatically get resolved. But if there are unresolved doubts, the second stage of the sadhana is exclusively meant for removal of all doubts, which is called samshaya nivritti, otherwise called mananam. And when I go through this mananam, first I apply all the teaching that I have received to the questions which I have and find out if I have the answers to my questions. In fact, generally we will find that most of my questions are answered. Because learning has got 4 facets. There is a beautiful Subhashitam which says, Acharyat padam adhatte, padam shishyaswamedhaya, padam sabbrahmacharibhyah, padam kalakramena cha. Because a teacher cannot teach everything, in the sense that the requirement or the capacity of different students may be different. But the teacher, his approach is to actually address what is the common feature of the capacity of the students. There will be brilliant students who will think a long, far ahead. They will have doubts about that. There will be students who will not be able to even keep up pace with the teaching. They will have doubts on that. So what happens is, you learn 1/4 from the teacher. And the other 1/4, you have to churn yourself in your mind, reflect on the teaching, apply your mind, examine all the possibilities. And you will find that the teaching is capable of removing the doubts. And if you are not able to solve by yourself, you can ask the co-students, Padam Sabbrahmacharibhyah. Because other students may have a perspective which you do not have. That is another effective way of clearing the doubts. And if that also does not resolve the doubt, Guru is there. We have got so many books on Vedanta, which raises all possible questions belonging to the past, belonging to the present, and even future possible questions. They are all envisaged in our scriptures and answered. The scriptures anticipate what will you ask tomorrow, and they answer it today itself. So we have got thousands of books answering all possible questions. And this process of mananam will convert the knowledge into conviction, which is called dhrida jnanam, which is called nishamshaya jnanam or samshaya rahita jnanam, which has to be gained. All these have to be gained not through meditation, but only through shravanam and mananam. You have to use your intellect, because knowledge is the job of the intellect. Knowledge sits in the intellect. And that is why the Upanishads very clearly say, through intellect alone, you have to gain the knowledge. Body cannot get knowledge. Atma, the self, cannot get any knowledge. Knowledge has to take place in only one locus, and that locus is intellect alone. Manasa eva veda aptavyam, says Kathopanishad. Again, Mundaka Upanishad says, Yesha anuratma chetasa veditavyah. This anuratma, the atom, like the smallest entity, this atma, has to be known through chetasa. Chetas means intellect. Then again, elsewhere in the Kathopanishad, Drishyate tvagraya buddhya sukshmaya sukshmadarshibhihi agraya sukshmaya buddhya drishyate. Only with the help of a sukshmaya buddhya, with a very fine intellect, very subtle intellect, any knowledge has to be gained, including spiritual knowledge. And the intellect knows only one language, and that is reasoning. Therefore, whatever is taught to you, you have to reason it out. Remove all doubts. Because what Vedanta says may all be not logical. But what you have to focus is it illogical? That is what you have to focus on. And once you go through this process, and it may take any amount of time, right? For some people, the mananam may last for a month or so, but for some others, it may last for years. And even if you think that you have finished mananam, later on, you will again get some doubts. Oh, this particular point I missed in the last Mananam round. Let me get back into Mananam again. So you were to go through this process. It could be iterative at some times, but convert it into a conviction that I am the truth of this creation. I am the substratum of this creation. I have no doubt about that. Whether other people have doubt or not, I do not care. But for my knowledge to bless me, I should be convinced. Otherwise, it will be like a very interesting story which Swami Chinmayananda used to tell. A person had a feeling that he was a worm. Worm, Tamil Pulu. Somehow he had a psychological fixation that he was a worm. So he was scared of birds because he felt that if he is seen by the birds, they will eat him. So he was taken to a mental hospital or a psychiatrist for treatment. The therapist brought out a mirror and showed the face showed this fellow the mirror. Then the therapist took a worm and showed it to him. He asked this, what is this? He said, this is a worm. What is this? This is my face. Are you like this worm? The patient said, no, I am not like this worm. So he was asked to meditate that he was not a worm, but a human being. So he need not be mortally afraid of the birds, etc. So this went on for some time. Eventually, after Nididhyasanam on the worm was over, some more tests, etc., the treatment was declared successful. The doctor was happy. Patient was discharged. The patient came out of the hospital and he saw a bird. Immediately, he rushed back to the doctor and said, doctor, there is a bird outside. But doctor asked, why are you afraid of the bird? You know that you are a human being, not a worm. So birds don't eat human beings. And you are not a worm. So it's nothing. Why are you afraid? Then the patient said, doctor, I know I am a human being. But the bird does not know that. You have not treated the bird. You have only treated me. So the bird may still think that I am a worm and eat me up. So this is the problem. My conviction should be independent of others agreeing with me or not. If they do not agree, it is their problem. And therefore, until that conviction comes, let the whole world say, I am a mortal creature. I know that Mayeva Sakalam Jatam, Mayi Sarvam Pratishtitam, Mayi Sarvam Layam Yati, Tat Brahma Advayam Asmi Aham. I am that Brahman from which the whole world arises, and in whom the whole world rests or is sustained, and to whom the whole world resolves into. That Brahman, that non-dual Brahman, I am. This is called self-knowledge. And you get that only by Shravanam and Mananam. And this is called Dridagyanam, Nishamshaya Jnanam or Samshaya Rahita Jnanam. Some people may ask, so what? All this is fine, but still it is only intellectual knowledge. We'll say, yes, it is intellectual knowledge. For that matter, every knowledge is intellectual knowledge only. As Pujya Swamiji used to say, there is nothing called nasal knowledge. Knowledge is always in the intellect alone. Therefore, these three sadhanas have to be practiced: Upasana, Jnana Yoga, Nididhyasana. Upasana prepares the mind, Jnana Yoga gives you knowledge, then Nididhyasanam, meditation after Jnanam, is meant for assimilation of that jnanam. Here, I would like to touch upon one more aspect with regard to the assimilation, because here also several doubts can come. After gaining the knowledge by the study of scriptures, a person contemplates on the knowledge received from the teacher, that I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the senses, but I am the awareness which is aware of all of them. This jnanam he gathers from Sravanam, Mananam and meditation. After knowledge, meditation after gaining the knowledge. Now, there is a misconception or misunderstanding among some people that meditation or nididhyasanam is for converting the knowledge gained from Shravanam Mananam into Brahman experience. This is one of the general misconceptions. Meditation after scriptural study is for the experience of Brahman. After you have studied everything, then go into meditation, you will experience Brahman. Because their orientation is, they have studied physics, chemistry, etc. Where first you get the theoretical knowledge and then you test the theory with practical experiments. So there is a misconception among some, not all, that Shravanam Mananam is theory. Nididhyasanam is a practice meant for getting experience of Brahman, so that the theory is proved. This is how they understand. But if we study the scriptures properly, we will understand that we do not practice meditation for Brahman experience. Because scriptures point out that Brahman is the only thing which is all the time experienced by me as existence and consciousness. Whenever I am making a sentence, this is a wall, or this is a book, or this is a laptop, this is a bottle, that isness is nothing but my Brahman experience only. If there is one experience or one thing in life for whose experience you need not put forth any effort at all, that fortunately happens to be the Brahman experience. Kenopanishad says, Pratibodha Viditam Matam. Just as I need not put forth any special effort to experience the light in the hall, I need not put forth any special effort to experience consciousness, because consciousness is the only thing which is evident all the time. In fact, everything else becomes evident only because of the self-evident consciousness. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. Tasya bhasa sarvamidham vibhati. So, consciousness happens to be self-evident and ever-evident, and that consciousness is Brahman. Therefore, the scriptures point out that you need not work separately for Brahma Anubhava. If you have understood the teaching properly, you will understand that every Anubhava is Brahma Anubhava only. Every experience is experience of Brahman only. Therefore, meditation after scriptural study is not for experiencing Brahman, but meditation after scriptural study is for experiencing what? The jnana phalam, the result of the knowledge, the fruit of the knowledge. Experiencing the benefit of knowledge completely. And the benefit of knowledge being what? Shantihi, Triptihi, Abhayam, peace, fullness, contentment, fearlessness, security. These are all the experience of Jnana Phalam. So for Jnana Phala Anubhava, we have to dwell upon the knowledge which we called assimilation or Jnana Nishtha or Jivan Muktihi. We have already seen what is moksha in second, third, and fourth chapters. Liberation is freedom from raga, dvesha, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, madam, acharya. Freedom from all these internal impurities, internal problems, irrespective of external situations. Freedom from all emotional hang-ups. And this transformation can be called Jivan Mukti, or it can be even called saintliness. In fact, some other religions have got this concept of saintliness. A person becomes a saint or sainthood. In fact, this very expression saintliness can be defined in several ways. And if you go through Gita, it is full of definition of the saintliness. In simple terms, a saintly person is one who is incapable of getting hurt by external situation and who is incapable of hurting other people. Neither he is hurt or disturbed by the ups and downs of the creation of life, nor he hurts or disturbs anyone. Krishna will tell, it says in the 12th chapter, Yasman dujate loko lokano dujate chayaha. He does not hurt others and he is not hurt by others. You can call that Shanti, you can call that Samatvam, you can call that compassion, you can call that love, any number of words you can give. This Jivan Mukti is this benefit of this knowledge. Now here is a problem. All this is possible only if the knowledge has to be converted not only into Samshaya Rahita Jnanam, but also Viparyaya Rahita Jnanam. Produce the result of Jivan Mukti. Because often we find that even when this knowledge is there, we are not free from mental problems. In the normal course itself, doubtless knowledge, conviction should give me liberation. But often we find that in spite of conviction, my mind does not enjoy the benefit of knowledge. I seem to continue to be as bitter as before, as jealous as before, maybe slightly better, we can say, or as frustrated as before, or as fearful as before, as samsari as I was before. And this is, you have done Shravanam Mananam for 25 years, still this will be the situation. Therefore, one of the most important tasks is we have to find out why the knowledge does not produce the result, because the scriptures say Jnanam has to produce the result. And this problem you will actually experience and encounter at your home. Your spouse or your children or family members who have got no clue about this Vedanta, except that they know that if you are a Jnani, you will behave in a certain manner, you will be very compassionate, loving, etc., etc., etc. The first instance there is some anger they see in you, they will say, what is the use of all your this Vedanta study? Huh? They just try doing time pass, Vedanta, Vedanta and all. It has not made an iota of difference in your behavior. And they are not being exaggerated, they are not exaggerating at all. After you have assimilated the knowledge, after you have found, convinced, still this behavioral pattern will remain mostly as it was earlier. So in spite of thorough understanding, doubtless knowledge, I do not find a transformation in my personality. I seem to have the information, but I do not have the transformation. So I have to find out what the obstacle is. For example, if there is a water in the tank, tank on the upper floor, but the water is not flowing in the open tap. In the natural course, if the water in the tank is there and you open the tap, by sheer gravitation, water should flow. But I find that water is not flowing. What does that mean? That means there is some obstacle in the pipeline connected to the tap, which is preventing the water from flowing through the tap. So the problem is not lack of water, but the problem is there is some obstacle in the tap, in the pipeline, which does not allow the water to flow down. And if there is some such obstacle, going on adding more and more water to the tank is not going to be of any use. You have to remove the obstacle. That should be your task. Similarly, once we gain doubtless knowledge, it is more than enough. It is capable of producing the necessary transformation. If the transformation does not take place, that means there are some obstacles. And therefore, our aim should be to remove the obstacle, pay attention to the mind, pay attention to your psychological personality. Do not look for a new experience, because that is not the solution. The solution is looking into your own mind, which has got certain problems, which we call habitual notions or habitual orientation. We had certain ideas about ourselves and they are strongly ingrained in the mind, which, as we have already seen, is called viparyaya or viparita bhavana. We talked about it in the last class also. As we have gathered many viparita bhavanas from previous births and in this birth also from childhood itself, they are all deeply buried in our inner mind, in our subconscious mind, the unconscious mind. This causes mental problems. Of course, different individuals will have different kinds of problems. For example, if I have been a child with elder brothers and sisters, I'm the youngest one, and if one of the elder brother was very intelligent, brilliant, always coming first, in the class, even when board examination, he stood first, etc. And I have been always just pass mark, 35% or something in every subject. Then the family members automatically will be praising, have all praise for that brother who is a very, very studious guy and who is a brilliant chap. Even if they do not criticize me, but by just keeping on praising my brother, I will have a feeling that I am being neglected. I am not loved. I will develop a feeling that nobody cares for me in the family. I will feel that I am sort of an outcast just because I am not able to score, the marks like my brother. Even if I have got some other talent, nobody will pay attention to that and have a word of praise for me. And if this idea that I am rejected is formed deep in my mind, it will continue throughout my life. Psychologists are saying this is a psychological analysis of why behavioral analysis. They always say when you go to a psychiatrist and all that, they will dig into your past. What is causing a certain type of thought process? So when that happens, Vedanta knowledge will be in one corner and a sense of rejection and bitterness, frustration, anger, etc. will be in another corner. And this is only one example. Like that, we have got several habitual problems, either in the form of anger, jealousy, frustration, all these habitual notions. One of the most important notions amongst elders when you become a senior citizen, everybody should listen to me, everybody should respect me. Nobody should make fun of me. They should accept me as I am. I am old. And if that behavior is not forthcoming from the family members, finished. You are frustrated. Nobody cares for me because I am of no use to these people. Whenever I was young, earning and all these fellows used me. Now, because I am retired and have no earning, these people have thrown me out of their minds. These are all habitual notions. These viparita bhavanas do not allow the transformation of the knowledge into liberation. Therefore, what is required is the removal of these viparita bhavanas, removal of these habitual notions, and this process is called nididhyasana dhyanam. So it is the second type of meditation. The first type of meditation, the preparatory meditation, was called upasana dhyanam, which comes either before Shravanam Mananam or along with Shravanam Mananam. Once you have completed Shravanam Mananam, gained conviction, then we have to get into the second type of exercise, which is called nididhyasanam, in which alone the transformation of the personality has to take place. And again, nididhyasanam consists of two exercises. The first exercise is an alert living, conscious living, every moment of your life. Keep reflecting, keep evaluating. Are all my transactions in keeping with Vedantic teaching? Or at least they are not opposed to what I have learned. So my living should be Vedanta friendly living. And whenever I find that I am going away from that, I should bring back my life, bring back my behavior, bring back my thought process to Vedanta friendly living. Like nowadays we have got, eco-friendly living, etc. Even pencil and all, eco-friendly pencil. They will claim that the pencil has been made in such a way. It is not made of wood. It is ecology friendly. The ecology is not disturbed. Like that, Vedanta friendly living means all my transactions are not against Vedantic teaching. Whenever I tend to search for peace of mind, that is Vedanta unfriendly, because Vedanta says peace is not something far away in time and space for you to go and acquire. Peace is your own nature. So don't look for peace outside. It is within you. So I have to change the way of living whenever I encounter any thought or any transaction which is against the teaching. And this is called alert living. And the second part of nididhyasanam is meditation, in which I exclusively spend some time for revision of my opinion about myself. Self-opinion revision meditation. Until I came to Vedanta, what was my opinion? My opinion was everything is wrong with the world. I am miserable. I am mortal. I am useless. Even if I do not think I am useless, my family members will ensure that I am constantly reminded that I am useless. The society and everything around me, around the society, only makes me feel so small. So I have such a low self-esteem, and that is samsara. So I need to revise my opinion of myself. And when the opinion is I am mortal, I meditate. Na jayate mriyate va kadachit. Who says I am mortal? I am the consciousness blessing the mortal body. I am the consciousness, I am immortal. Similarly, when I feel I need to depend on the world to be happy and complete, I meditate on the fact that I do not need the world. On the other hand, the world depends on me. Thus, corresponding to every unhealthy self-opinion, I neutralize with the opposite. This is called Atma Dhyanam, self-meditation. It should go deep into my subconscious. That even in the dream, I should see myself as wonderful, free, beautiful, healthy human being. This is meditation number 2. So that's Upasana, meditation number 1, to purify the mind, to bring in Chitta Naischalyam and attain Chitta Shuddhi. Second, study of scriptures to attain the knowledge. Then meditation number 2, to experience the benefit of knowledge, which is nothing but moksha or peace and fullness. The first type of meditation is called Upasanam. Second type of meditation is called Nididhyasanam. And in the 6th chapter of the Gita, Bhagawad is going to focus on Nididhyasanam, which we can understand as Vedantic meditation. So the topic of 6th chapter is Atma Sanyama Yoga or Nididhyasana Yoga or Vedantic meditation. So to sum up, we now go through preparatory meditation in the beginning, which is called Upasana Dhyana, and switch over to Shravanam Mananam, get clear knowledge. And this clear knowledge is capable of giving liberation, which is total transformation of my life, which is Jivan Mukti. And with this background, we will enter the 6th chapter in the next class. Okay, I'll stop here. Om Purnamada Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamudachyate. Om
Shanti Krishna
Hari
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Hari
Hari Om.
Thank you all very much.
Namaskaram Guruji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you.
Dhanyawada Guruji. Hari Om.
धन्यवाद गुरुजी. हरि ओम.
धन्यवाद गुरुजी.
Thank you. Yes, Girish ji.
Thank you, Guruji.
Hari Om Guruji. Just a remark, fantastic introduction. We have not even stepped in, but you gave 1 hour lecture just before that what is Nididhyasanam. Fantastic. I had the same doubt. Actually, I wanted to talk to you when, particularly in a family. Yes, as you rightly said, you have already captured that, though it was in my mind. The leaks, but how much ever we transform, but however, the rest of the family members feels, even there is a slight variation, then they would say, whatever you are doing, it is of no use. So many times we may have to be artificial just in order to keep them happy. So that alert living, bringing that is very, very essential. Yeah.
Initially, you can put up an act, but that act will not last very long because if it is an act, you will be caught somewhere. Correct.
Correct.
So what you have to be is, okay, you can do a little bit acting, but eventually it has to be a real transformation. And
true.
What is the whole purpose of Vedanta, isn't it?
Very true.
I am able to successfully transform myself from all my past kind of orientation dealing. I can study for 60 years, 100 years with no use.
Correct.
The same miserable guy. They will say something, I will say something. And in fact, it is not very easy also. Let me tell you that.
Very true.
Personally also, I'm telling you, even today, many times it is happening that, I want to avoid knee-jerk reaction to situations, but it happens. I'm not going to. Afterwards, maybe after, 5 minutes, I will realize, oh my God.
Absolutely.
I shouldn't have. I may go to the personal person and apologize also. But that does not mean that transformation has taken place.
Absolutely, absolutely.
To work continuously on that. And
Correct, correct.
being away from the family is also not a solution.
No, no.
Because you may be very peaceful when you are away. When you come back to the battlefield, it's anything happen. So, it
No.
is a real transformation in real sense. If you are able to achieve that, you become a jnani. That is the final test for a jnani, rather. Are
Very
you
true.
transform yourself?
Agree. And that alert living, that every moment,
How we to do alert living? Every
fantastic.
moment we must think. Even going to bed, is this in line tune with what I have been taught, right?
Very true, very true.
So many things, we have to keep on churning in our mind, and more we do it, it will all happen, in due course of time.
Correct. And that is, in fact, we are planting the seed. Automatically, that transformation will take place.
Exactly.
Very true, very
The
true.
potential is there, but we have to nurture that. That's all.
True.
That's
Thank you very much. Fantastic. Hari Om.
all. Yes, Anjali ji.
Yeah, Namaste Guruji.
Say,
A lot of misconceptions I had about Dhyana Yoga. And today it was eye-opener and totally upside down. But still I have some clarification I want to know. Like this Lord Buddha, Bhagwan Buddha is supposed to did meditation, and after that he became enlightened jnani, and he could recall his all previous births also, it seems. So how do you look at that then? How do we look at
how
that?
they have been told, isn't it? They have been told by Buddha's Sishyas that all this happened and all that.
Hmm.
But Buddhism as a philosophy is totally opposed to Vedanta. We
Acha.
don't accept Buddhist philosophy at all.
Oh, acha.
Shankara himself has in Brahma Sutra, he criticizes and he
Acha.
brings out all the contradictions which is there in the Buddhist philosophy. Yeah.
Hmm.
Because they don't believe in Vedas. It is actually not a Vedic Buddhism, Jainism. They don't believe in Vedas.
Acha.
We can only relate to those people who are, like Visishta Advaitas, Dvaitas and all. They accept the Vedas, but they have got different understanding of the Vedas.
Acha. Okay.
We can have a debate with them. Okay, this is your understanding.
Yeah, correct.
But somebody says, no, I don't accept your basic pramana itself.
Mm-hmm.
It will be like a lawyer and a doctor discussing.
Okay, conversations. Yeah.
This fellow will talk law, that fellow will talk medicine. What is the point? So we don't accept, and that's why, when they say he sat under the Bodha tree and then he got enlightenment and
Yeah.
all, that's all very good for people of low intellect. People who not understood. Because, see, you don't want Sanskrit. The reason why Sanskrit was our language is for growing the intellect. Sanskrit only, you become a samskara purusha.
Yes.
Sanskritam makes you a samskara purusha.
Yes.
So there are people who have to now still go through a lot of lives and then come up to this stage. We don't accept Buddhism, so I don't feel I can comment, in any useful way.
Got it. Okay.
I don't also have
didn't
any
know
idea. But I don't. They talk about mystic experiences, right? Something suddenly happens and all that. Vedanta doesn't. There is
Okay.
this
Yeah, this is a new information. Yeah. Okay.
That's it. But then it's attractive to a lot of people, right? They want to believe in that thing. But there are some people, no, they see all these ghost films and all that, entertain. They believe that there are ghosts. All these things. But you ask me, I will say, I am the first ghost.
No, that this knowledge has to be gained only through intellect. This is the new point for me, because I was thinking this knowledge is beyond intellect. So this is, you have enlightened us today with this all that true concepts of the Veda. So I accept that and go ahead. Yeah. Yeah.
We have
Thank
to have this Shraddha in the Vedic teachings.
you.
Because Buddhists have got the Shunyavada. Shunyavada means they accept that, okay, all this is all appearance, the world,
Mhm.
Vidya. So that means if you actually negate the world, there is nothing. It is zero.
Mhm.
Say that there is something which makes all this work. They don't accept that.
Mhm.
That's the Shunyavada. So they say that from Shunya, the whole creation has come.
Hmm.
Now from zero, can anything come?
Mhm. How is that? Yeah.
From nothing, how can something come? For something to be produced, there has got to be something from which it is produced.
Mhm.
It's a logic, correct?
Mhm.
Now, even when we see a magic show,
Mhm.
the magician may show that he will suddenly take out something from a hat, he will take out a rabbit.
Mhm.
But if we are sharp enough, we will understand that he is taking out something out of the hat and
Yes.
showing it to us and making it appear to us as a rabbit.
Mhm.
That's all he does.
Mhm.
So to us, it looks like a rabbit.
Mhm.
But the magician may be taking out some kerchief or something out of this thing, which is there, right? So out of nothing, nothing comes. There has got to be something. And that is what Buddhists, they refuse to accept.
Mhm.
So all those, there are a lot of philosophical issues which are there, which is not relevant for us at our present stage of learning.
Okay.
So we just need to stick to Vedanta, what the the Upanishads teach, what Bhagavad Gita is teaching, and all that. And then later on, once we are convinced about this knowledge, then you can have a debate with anybody. And then especially if you have done Brahma Sutra, Bhashyam, and all that.
Mhm.
Brahma Sutra, Bhashyam, Shankaracharya will give you all the arguments against all
Mhm.
other philosophies.
Mhm.
We don't need to even think of that ourselves.
अच्छा.
Yeah.
Okay, Guruji. Thank you.
Thank you, Hari Om. Sulekha ji.
Namaste, Guruji. My question is regarding transformation and the relationship to transcendence. Is there a relationship? And if so, does that come through the intellect itself once we are completing or in the process of nididhyasana? Does transformation change into transcendence, or is there a relationship?
No, I didn't get the relationship between what and what?
Transformation and transcendence.
Transformation is transcendent. How do you transcend? How do you transcend samsara? By transforming your personality. So that way you can say it is relationship, but I see it as one and the same thing. One is a process, another is a result. Right? So by transforming your personality, you transcend the samsara. That is why it is called transcendental. And meditation is one part. Nididhyasanam is one of the most important sadhanas for crossing that last bridge, as you call it, right? Without that, you will be on this side of the bridge very well endowed with lot of knowledge and all, but of no practical use. That is what it is, the transformation. And transformation, one has to work on it, both while awake and also as a part of like a meditation. And not only meditation, one should be in a meditative state every moment. That I would put it that way. That meditation need not necessarily mean that you should sit in exclusive place, close your eyes and do, repeat the thoughts. That is also has to be done. But once you do that, it should not be that only for that 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours you are meditating, you are transformed. Then when you come out of that meditation, you are back to the old self. That should not happen. So bit by bit by bit, we must learn to transform. If you know from where you are coming and where you want to go, then it becomes very easy to do the transformation. what is it that you are actually focusing on in terms of transformation.
Thank you, Guruji. That's very clear. Thank you. Hari Om.
Yes, Lataji.
Namaste, Guruji.
Say,
Namaste. As I just wanted to second Girishji, it's a beautiful introduction to the next chapter, and the chapter itself, this session itself needs repeated Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam, because it's so fully packed with important pearls and diamonds of jnana and information, not information, of knowledge and how to achieve and the different steps and stages. Well, I'll reserve my questions for the next session after repeatedly listening to today's, because I made notes, but then I think I've jumbled up back and forth, and I'll need to reorganize my own notes and thing. Thank you very much for the session, Guruji.
only my humble request to all of you is, don't give the credit of all this introduction to me. All the credit goes to my gurus, from whom I learned something and pass it on to you, right?
Yes, Guruji, but for us it's coming from you, so we can only be grateful to you and
Yeah, correct.
and feel blessed about it.
The only unfortunate thing is I am able to do this as a Guru Seva rather. I mean, because what I've learned, if I share with all of you, for me it is a Guru Seva I am doing. That's all. Okay.
Yes.
So don't give all the praises to me alone. I'm just, as I said in last one class also, loudspeaker. Whatever has been spoken, I'm speaking it louder to you so that you can hear it.
No, Guruji, when we give credit to you and then all praises to you, through you it will go to your gurus.
That's true. The whole Guru Parampara gets it. Of course, that I understand that. I agree with that. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Any other?
Thank you. Pranam.
Guruji, just a comment.
Yeah.
Right, there was a question regarding Buddhism, right? If Buddha got enlightenment in a particular point in time, then anything that happens in a point in time also has to go away in a point in time.
Yes. Yes. So that's why,
So,
about Buddha, Buddhism and all, we have got only the stories that people have told about what happened and things like that and all, right? There is no authentic information that this has happened, this is how it happened and things like that and all. And the fact of the matter is that, as you rightly 2 points, one is nothing will happen just in like a flash of lightning or anything, correct? Yeah, one has to go through a process. So Buddha also must have gone through a lot of processes in terms of somewhere and all, we get some details somewhere, right? He even starved himself in order to sort of, disidentify himself with his body, mind, sense complex. That one story we have heard, but then that did not help, because he was about to die and things like that and all, and then he was told, no, that is not the way and all that. Now we also do not know whether Buddha had a guru. So normally, if we are, doing any sadhana for that matter, our tradition is you must have a guru. So who was Buddha's guru? We don't know. Okay. So there are a lot of questions there around that. But sometimes over a period of time, what happens is just to glorify someone, many stories are also built around that character. So we don't know the authenticity. So far as we are concerned, we are not bothered about all that. We are bothered only about one thing. What is the teaching of the Vedas? Because we are Vedic people. We will go by the scriptures, which according to us has been given by Bhagavan alone. And not only according to us. Every religion considers that their scriptures are given by God Almighty. Christianity also says that it was, the God who has given the Bible through Jesus Christ. And Islam also says that this is the words of the God which has come through Muhammad Prophet. And we say, only difference is we say this is all given by God, but not by one person or like Christ or so many rishis. We don't even know their names, who have not put their stamp that this is, edited by so and so rishi. They have not put their stamps. Somewhere we get some names and all that, but otherwise we don't know which rishi has received. But we test that knowledge against our own logic, against our own experiences, and then find out whether that knowledge is true or not. We are not bothered who has said what. We are bothered only what is said and whether that what is said is true. And we test that against our own intellectual capability. That is our goal in life. So, as you say, Buddha and all may be there. I mean, since I have got very, very little knowledge, I would not like to comment either way, except that I have certain lot of questions in my mind about that. I just express it sometimes. That's all. Yeah.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you. Okay, then shall we close the session and continue in the next class? Thank you all.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you.
Hari Om.